And so it continues. Donald Trump and Elon Musk, they are going through with shutting down USAID. Not only that, you have Leticia James ignoring the warning completely by going after Donald Trump in the pursuit to sue him. Last but not least, could y'all believe that we've been funding nearly all of the major news networks? Seriously. So what you see right here is USAID is actually being shut down. They just took the letters off the building. Excuse me. No more pet project funding. The woke ideology around the world. No more of it will be ensued, as they say. Now, yesterday, what we didn't cover that you guys kept reminding me of is...
Good evening. Thanks for joining us. We begin tonight with Musk and Big Balls.
Big Balls.
Big Balls.
Big Balls, who work for Elon Musk's so-called Department of Government Efficiency, Doge.
In the one case of the Big Balls kid, a literal teenager.
Big Balls online, Big Balls here that Katie's talking about.
A 19-year-old that goes by the username Big Balls.
So that would be one way that we could refer to him.
Young computer whizzes, the aforementioned Big Balls.
Because who among us doesn't feel better about big balls, big balls, big balls in charge of American air traffic control?
Oh, I know they hate it. I know they hate it. Oh, God, I know they hated that. I'm telling y'all, they hated every minute of it. I was confused as to who this guy was, Mr. BB. But it says, meet Big Balls. Okay, one of the Doge team members that caught the USAID fraud. His name is Edward Corzine. How you say that? Corey Stein. Okay, yeah. He goes by the username of Big Balls. He the founder and CEO of Chief Everything Officer. Wow. At Diamond CDN. Okay. I don't know too much about his background as of right now, but this is the guy that everybody in the comments has been telling me to find out about. So apparently he's on Elon Musk's team with Doge, and that furthers the meltdowns and also furthers some great memes. Yeah. Bring back Big Balls, they say. We cannot allow an evil, cruel former USAID employee to dox a young man because of old deleted posts. Cancel culture is over. From my understanding, he has some posts that were racist. Maybe I was looking it up, but couldn't find it. Maybe y'all can. And I feel horrible because I feel like it should be easy for me to find. Yeah. But yeah, more y'all see the memes are pouring in. Now, as I told y'all, Leticia James is deciding to sue Donald Trump. But before that, he also mentioned this. USAID is driving the radical left crazy, and there's nothing they can do about it because the way in which the money has been spent, so much of it fraudulently, is totally unexplainable. The corruption is at levels rarely seen before. Close it down. Trump army said President Trump is draining the swamp. I'm all here for it. Ain't y'all ready for the swamp to be drained? Swamped to continue to get drained? Oh, wow. I just realized I didn't have my light on me this whole time. Well, it's kind of pointless now. Anyhow. Yep. AG James sues over Musk's data use. Judge blocks access. One thing that confuses me is the sentiment that the left is running with, like, what authority does Elon Musk have to do this? He's an immigrant, this, that, and the third. But I'm like, yo, he's literally on the Trump team. Like, he's literally on the Trump administration in Doge, specifically to do what he's doing. Unless it's something I'm missing. New York Attorney General Leticia James has filed a lawsuit against the Trump administration, Elon Musk, and his Department of Government Efficiency, Doge, alleging unauthorized access to sensitive personal data of Americans. The lawsuit contends that this access was used to disrupt federal programs like healthcare and education. A judge has issued an order blocking further access to Treasury data by political appointees, including the Treasury Secretary, sparking controversy over executive authority and data privacy. The decision has been met with strong criticism from figures like Elon Musk and Senator Tom Cotton, who argue it hinders government oversight and transparency. I would like to argue that it's the exact opposite. I think that right now I don't think Doge has officially come out and made like a lot of statements about things, but we've quite literally seen the reporting behind the scenes on where our tax dollars is going. And for whatever reason, Leticia James, again, ignoring the warning from Trump's lawyer who said that, hey, if you try to continue to pursue Donald Trump in these frivolous lawsuits, we're going to come after you. And wait to see how this unfolds. Y'all think Donald Trump gonna take it to court? I mean, he been winning. I don't think he can lose. Elon Musk actually posted, to be clear, what the Doge team and U.S. Treasury have jointly agreed makes sense is the following. I'm sorry. Jointly agreed makes sense is the following. Okay, I read it correctly. It says, require that all outgoing government payments have payment categorization code, which is necessary in order to pass financial audits. Yeah. People want to know where their money going. This is frequently left blank, making audits almost impossible. Oh, so they done found a loophole is what you're saying. All payments must also include a rationale for the payment in the comment field, which is currently left blank. Importantly, we are not yet applying any judgment to this rationale, but simply requiring that some attempt to be made to explain the payment more than nothing. So Elon Musk is sitting back going, hey, I'm giving y'all a chance to explain yourselves here. Like, it's no pressure. We're just saying, look, we're trying to perform an audit. Y'all not telling us where these payments are going. It makes us really frustrated and makes our job extremely hard if you don't do these two things. I think that's fair. Y'all think that's fair? Let me know, kings and queens. It says the do not pay list of entities known to be fraudulent or people who are dead or probable fronts for terrorist organizations or do not match congressional appropriations must actually be implemented and not ignored. Of course. Also, it can currently take up to a year to get on this list, which is far too long. Yeah, that's a bit lengthy. This list should be updated at least weekly, if not daily. Ooh, yeah, they are not playing. The above super obvious and necessary changes are implemented by existing long-time career government employees, not anyone from Doge. It is ridiculous that these changes didn't exist already. He says, yesterday I was told that there are currently over 100 billion a year of entitlement payments to individuals with no social security number or even a temporary ID number. If accurate, this is extremely suspicious. I mean, y'all dishing out money to dead people are. Y'all in America want to turn against this man, bro. It's crazy. When I asked if anyone at the Treasury had a rough guess for what percentage of that number is unequivocal and obvious fraud, the consensus in the room was about half. So 50 billion a year or 1 billion a week. This is utterly insane and must be addressed immediately. Yes. And man, since they've been in office already, they've been saving, I think it's like $1 billion weekly or something like that. I'll find out the data on that and update y'all in the next USAID video. I don't want to sit here and misspeak. But again, remember I told y'all nearly all mainstream media worldwide has been funded by the U.S. government under USAID. And Ron Paul added, no wonder they all repeat the same things.
Headline on Breitbart is Trump freezes millions in USAID funds for foreign media. Foreign media, wow. Triggering globalist outrage. I did see a few liberals and Democrats. They're a little bit scared.
Yeah.
They're annoyed and mean and nasty too.
And we talked about it a little bit yesterday on the show. We talked about the fact that Politico was getting paid by USAID and the New York Times were getting paid by USAID. But it's like you scratch the surface and then there's this massive iceberg underneath it. We've only looked at the top of it. So the idea that the U.S. government is funding the foreign media, I mean, this It really is. You talk about manufacturing consent. This is what the U.S. government does. It manufactures consent. It pays all the foreign media to say what it wants it to say, and then it tells Americans, look, the BBC saying it, you know, the Times is...
Exactly. So if they pay everybody to run these stories, and they also have it run globally, and these are considered established and reliable sources to most people whom wouldn't further their research beyond the TV, watching these news networks, yes, they are going to be extremely influenced. And the propaganda will be more potent if they have all of these different entities across the world in agreement.
Saying it, whatever. So go to the next one. There's actually some numbers on this, and this is from the article. American taxpayers are no longer subsidizing foreign media, once funded by the U.S. Agency for International Development, prompting left-wing concern for the political impact on global journalism and democracy. Now look at some of these numbers, Dr. Paul. President Donald Trump put a 90-day hold on all USAID's foreign aid this week, which subsequently cut $268 million from media outlets in more than 30 countries, according to the agency's 25 foreign budget reported by Reporters Without Borders.
268 million?
USAID's 2023 fact sheet taken offline due to the hold boasted that the agency supported 6,200 journalists, 707 news outlets, 279 media sector civil society
So we've been paying for our own demise.
organizations, i.e. NGOs, the Columbia Journalism Review reported. So what does this do, Dr. Paul, overseas with thousands and thousands on the U.S. payroll?
You know, it's similar to the nonsense that was finally exposed was the social media and the government getting together and they cancel people that didn't agree with the COVID.
Yeah, COVID, yeah.
So this is another coalition put together, and that is business people and government, and using these funds to, once again, though, this is similar to COVID, is to affect opinions, you know, and get people upset and get the support they need. And so the neatest thing is happening, and it has to continue, is the exposure.
Well, you know, when we've been talking since 2014, really, about the coup, the Maidan coup in Ukraine, and whenever we point out the involvement of the U.S. government in it, they say, oh, you're just using Russian talking points. Oh, you're on Putin's payroll. Well, it actually turns out that the other side is on Uncle Sam's payroll. You know, they're the ones that are on the payroll. They're the ones that have manufactured this misinformation, disinformation about.
So anytime somebody goes, who's paying you to say what you're saying, it's quite literally, we're like, well, I'm paying you to lie to me.
This misinformation, disinformation about what had happened, and not only there, but elsewhere, everywhere. I mean, Viktor Orban from Hungary, I talked about it yesterday, he put out another post on X Day talking about, you know, the cat's out of the bag now. All of the media in Hungary that was attacking the government is funded by the U.S. government, you know? And it's, wait, we're paying for the BBC? And the question is how much? Go to the next clip. How much are we paying for the BBC? Well, that blue mark you see up there is USAID. The United States government is the second largest funder, after the UK government, the second largest funder of the BBC. This is incredible. We literally are the second largest donor to the BBC. No wonder they toe the line that Washington wants them to toe.
Of course. Because if they don't, that check gonna get messed up. But at our expense. Mark added, it's time to turn off the state-sponsored legacy media propaganda. Thomas Sowell quotes, if people in the media cannot decide whether they are in the business of reporting news or manufacturing propaganda, it is all the more important that the public understand the difference and choose their news sources accordingly. But of course, we don't get that option. You know why? Because they're going to force one option down your throat while censoring the other option for you to even and just completely deteriorate you from even considering the other option. Right here is just continuing the 6,000 journalists and 700 newsrooms, over 700 newsrooms that receive USAID.
Hi, I'm Fox San Antonio's Jessica Headley.
And I'm Ryan Wolf.
Our greatest responsibility is to serve our
Treasure Valley communities,
the El Paso, Las Cruces communities,
Eastern Iowa communities,
Mid-Michigan communities.
We are extremely proud of the quality, balanced journalism that CBS 4 News produces.
But
we are concerned about trouble and irresponsible, one-sided news stories plaguing our country.
The sharing of biased and false news has become all too common on social media. More alarming, some media outlets publish these same fake stories without checking facts first.
The sharing of biased and
false news has become all too common on social media.
More alarming, some media outlets publish these same simply aren't true without checking facts first.
Okay, I don't want to overwhelm y'all, but you get the point. You get the point. We actually going to skip past this one. But Senator John Kennedy on Elon Musk and Doge exposing USA. He said, I tell you what, Mr. Musk, Mr. Musk discovered. I find it fascinating. He discovered the American taxpayers are giving money to Afghanistan. We're giving money to Yemen, Syria. He found that USAID has 10,000 people, employees, and every year they give away 40 billion. He found that USAID gave money to support electric vehicles in Vietnam. Yeah, your money, your hard-earned money that you work for your whole life. He found that the USAID gave money to the transgender clinic in India, 1.5 million to a Siberian LGBTQ group. Yeah. John Kennedy is my guy, man. Anyhow, I'm going to end this off with my guy, Ian Curl. He came with some receipts today, right? So right here, he posted the top recipient of USAID funding seems to be a company called Chemonics International, Inc. And they're not up to anything good.
Can someone who knows more than me help me out with this one? So I've been using usaspending.gov to look into the USAID spending over the last 4 years, because cracking open the USAID scandal changes the game. It is the story right now. And Americans are learning about all kinds of crazy government programs that we've been funding. But we're also learning about all kinds of organizations and NGOs and nonprofits that we didn't know we didn't even know existed. Right. Okay, disregard the filter that TikTok just put on me for the last 10 clips. And in the data here, I noticed that when you sort it by the size of payment, the largest payment, $6 billion, is to Chemonics International, Inc., and then Pfizer. But then there's more Chemonics International, Inc., and then there's more Chemonics International, Inc., then there's more Chemonics International, Inc., then there's more Chemonics International, Inc., and more Chemonics International, Inc. And I'm hoping that some of you already know about Chemonics and can give us some leads and get the ball rolling of what the hell this is. When you dig into the sub-awards that they're giving out, it's basically all just transporting pharmaceutical products all around the world to all sorts of developing nations. Looks like it's mostly AIDS drugs, which is an insane amount of money. Side note, can anyone describe to me why the AIDS epidemic is such a problem in Africa? Are they all doing heroin? Are they all having butt sex? Why is AIDS everywhere in Africa? Is it just from poor sanitation? Or is it possible that we're not being told the whole story about the AIDS epidemic? Because... What? But anyways, Chemonics International has earned $1.8 billion just in the last 12 months. But in all fiscal years, it looks like $17.3 billion.
$17.3 billion? Yo, I only been on this side of the aisle in terms of being a Trump supporter or a conservative for the last 2 years. I'm over here like, man, I wish I would have got a couple USA, at least give me 0.00001% of that. I became, look, I jumped off that Democrat plantation a little too early. They giving $17.3 billion.
When you go to their website, their board of directors page no longer exists, which is kind of sus. But when you plug it into archive.org, you can get access to their board of directors as of 2024. And they don't seem like crazy sus. They seem kind of like nobodies, with a few exceptions that have worked in like big tech and big medicine and big supply chain kind of stuff. There is this dude, Gunjan, who has worked for Disney Plus, Amazon Fire TV, and Prime Digital, and Amazon Studios. And why is that experience relevant to international aid work delivering medicine? But anyways.
Ooh, y'all do know, I don't want to say her name, but the Echo do be a little biased.
Wikipedia says that Chemonics is the largest for-profit recipient of U.S. government foreign aid. As of 2019, the company has approximately 5,000 employees. The firm offers capacity building, communications, corporate social responsibility, knowledge management, performance management, and appraisal and program design services. What does any of that mean? Remember, the top receiver of U.S. aid funding. And they offer a hodgepodge of corporate garbledy-gook that doesn't really say anything. Then when you start looking up the company and finding articles about them, you find articles like this one that state that, this is back in 2017, in the first quarter of 2017, only 7% of the health commodity shipments delivered through this program arrived at their destination on time and in full. Meaning that 93% of the shipments they sent in that
didn't make it,
either arrived incomplete or did not arrive within the 21-day window allotted and agreed to by the buyer.
It's not even running off on a plug.
The largest recipient of foreign aid from our tax dollars is a company you've never heard of.
Never.
And when they're using that massive share of our tax dollars, only 7% of the shipments they're sending are making it
93%
to their destination. At the time, this was USAID's largest ever contract.
9.5.
And then there's this article. It starts off by talking about this power plant in Afghanistan that these two firms, Black and Veatch and Lewisberger Group, got a government contract through USAID to build. At least I presume it was through USAID. I don't know if that specific contract was, but then an earthquake or an avalanche happened and it kind of messed the plant up and they never finished it. And now it's producing 2% of the power it was intended to generate. So then the article goes on to explore a number of sort of aid misallocations of funds over the years. And it starts with Hillary Clinton's tenure at the State Department. The company CEO was indicted for siphoning money from USAID.
Ooh, really surprised.
The reconstruction contracts in Iraq and Afghanistan, because that's what USAID is for Hillary Clinton's friends to siphon money out into their own pockets. Lewisberger, the firm that built that messed up power plant, they're represented by John Podesta and his lobbying group. You might know our boy John from his appearance in scandals like Pizzagate. But then it goes on to talk about how Podesta...
I'm not too familiar with Pizzagate, however, please flood me. Well, I've heard of Pizzagate, but I mean, like, all the details that entails, please help me out with some knowledge on that.
You might know our boy John from his appearance in scandals like Pizzagate. But then it goes on to talk about how Podesta was tasked to come up with these sustainable development goals for this Council of International Development Companies. And one of those companies is Chemonics. Chemonics is the one we started on, the one that's the largest recipient of USAID money there is. And they thrived during Clinton's tenure, nabbing more contracts during the Haiti reconstruction effort than any other company. Funny, Cheryl Mills, Clinton's then chief of staff, was the point person, Politico reported. So USAID propaganda outlet reporting on USAID grifters about USAID programs that aren't, none of it is doing what we're told it was doing. If you don't know about Laura Silsby and the Haitian children trafficking scandal that erupted, that the Clintons and Cheryl Mills and Bill were all clearly involved in, like literally a trafficking ring got exposed. Then it turned up in the Clinton emails that they were funded by and consulted by the Clintons. And then it turned up that the Clintons were protecting them. And then Bill Clinton got this position as the interim Haiti Recovery Commissioner.
I need them Epstein files right now.
And he pardoned them and sent them home and covered it all up. It's a whole scandal. But despite Chemonics's scandals in Haiti, it continued to win lucrative USAID contracts in 2011 in Afghanistan. The project was intended to create 300,000 jobs. By 2013, after 2 years, it had only created 2,458 jobs. In May 2009, it won a $90 million contract to grow exports and employment in the Pakistani economy. The USAID Inspector General found no measurable increase in sales or employment after the first 2 years of the project. So can someone please help me out? This is the largest recipient of USAID funding, apparently, and they're ineffective. They're embroiled in scandals. I didn't even go into the one in Afghanistan where they were bribing the Taliban in order to not attack their shit. Literally, they were giving our taxpayer dollars to the Taliban. This company was, Chemonics, of their own volition. They were giving money to the Taliban basically as a protection racket. And I know it's not as funny as like trans operas, but every direction you look in this USAID scandal, you're finding wasted money, crime, cover-ups, intelligence networks, bureaucracy, grifting. It's so fucked up. If it's not apparent to you by now, this is the deep state. And it's been being built over the last 20 years, ever since Bill Clinton's time and even before, out of these proxy companies, these non-government organizations, these charitable organizations, all these shadow kind of organizations that you don't know about, that we don't elect, that are some of them private, some of them public, all of them in the shadows, just wheeling and dealing billions and billions and billions of dollars of taxpayer money that just goes into the black box of aid and then is never heard from again. If anyone else has any dirt on this Chemonics company, I would love to hear it.
No, excuse me. And all Elon Musk is asking and requesting is for you to, the deep state that is, put the reason behind your purchase in the comment box. I don't think that's hard. I don't think that's hard at all. It makes it so much easier for us to hold you accountable. Chemonics. Somebody said that they heard Chemonics was a former CIA adjacent staffers who wanted to have a private CIA that wouldn't be limited to government oversight. More to unfold as we continue to go down this rabbit hole of USAID and the world melting down around it. Make sure y'all continue to follow me on other social media platforms. Y'all been showing so much love. And I appreciate y'all who comment, like, share, and do all that other great stuff to help to keep this channel going. All of the donations, greatly appreciated. I want to say that I want you to go check on somebody today. Quite literally be saving their life. And some tax dollars according to this.